Hello friends, welcome to Study Spectrum TV channel. Now today we will discuss the very interesting chapter statistics first from 10th standard MSB board. So first we discuss what is exact definition of statistics. Actually statistics is the branch of mathematics. Statistics is the branch of mathematics which deals with the collection, presentation, analysis and interpretation of numerical data. Numerical data means suppose marks of 10 students, marks of any 10 students is the numerical data. So we discuss in a detail what is exact definition of statistics. Statistics is the branch of mathematics, which deals with the collection. Means suppose we are going to any school and we take the data of the marks of 50 students of 10th standard class, and that data is nothing but collection of data, collection of numerical data, means we take the all data roughly on page, and that data is called as collection. Again we discuss presentation. Again we separate the data, means we can separate the data by three different ideas: raw data, ungrouped data, grouped data. Because suppose marks of 10 students arbitrarily, these are raw data, and suppose we take the without frequency. Suppose we take the frequency of given marks, means that data will be ungrouped. And suppose we want to making the grouping, means suppose marks from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, means grouping. If we make the grouping and we have taken the frequency of that marks, then that data will be grouped data. So we can present the collected data by three methods: first by raw data, second by ungrouped data, and third by grouped data. So third is what? Analysis. And we apply some concepts of statistics and mathematics, like suppose mean, median or averages. What is the average marks of students? By using a mean we can make the analysis of that obtained marks. And lastly we interpret, means after the analysis we discuss in detail all data and we interpret the result of that data. Means statistics is the branch of mathematics which deals with what? Collection, presentation, third one analysis, and fourth interpretation. These four procedures are done in on a numerical data, and therefore this is a important branch of actually mathematics which has more applications, So statistics is used in this many research fields. Suppose this is a statistics is used in agriculture. So agriculture means suppose different seeds, and we can check the quality of that seeds by using the statistics. Also here is a botany. statistics also used in a botany. In a botany means vanaspati shastra. So we can also study the many crops and what is exact growth of crops. Many crops or one crop in many districts or many states, like sugarcane, like rice, and many crops. We can study the growth of that crops by using statistics. And also we study the economics of that crops in different states. So this is very important application of the statistics in botany. Also in statistics also used in biotechnology. Also statistics used in bioinformatics. In biotechnology means some enzymes are developed, new enzymes also developed, or what is the power of previous enzymes also will be studied by the statistics. So this is a very important application. Also very interesting application of in the chemistry also. In chemistry we can study the many chemicals and their properties by using statistics. Also very important economics. So this is very important for our nation and for world, because total economics is developed by statistics. Each and every nation use the statistics for developing the economics. Means economics of banking field. In economics many field: education field, banking field, also industry field. So what is exact growth? And also statistics useful for future planning of the economics. Commerce, geography. For geography very important, because geography, suppose we want to make the weather report, or we want to discuss the rainfall report of the India. So by using statistical graphs, we can discuss in a detail what is the exact nature of the rainfall of the India, and what we want to do for good rainfall of our nation. So this is also sociology. In sociology also statistics is used. Also in insurance, very important. Insurance, many policies and its benefits are developed by this many statistical methods. So in statistics, in insurance, statistics is also very important. Medicine means pharmaceutical industries. Use the statistics for developing new medicines. They check the action of the drug on the person by using statistics, and how the drug will maximum act on the person, and that give the more perfect results. So this is important application of the statistics. Also in management, for management means actually for many MBA courses, special statistics subject is allowed for students. So statistics also develop the management. For good management we require the statistics. Also very interesting, आप सबके लिए ये इंटरेस्टिंग कंसेप्ट है स्पोर्ट्स. आप सब देखते हैं क्रिकेट मैचेस. सो क्रिकेट मैचेस में जो ग्राफ रहते हैं, ऐसे रन्स के जो ग्राफ्स दिखाए जाते हैं, दिस इज ऑल्सो स्टैटिस्टिक्स. एंड ऑल्सो स्टैटिस्टिक्स डेवलप द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द एवरी क्रिकेटर. हर क्रिकेटर की आप स्टैटिस्टिकल डाटा देख सकते हैं. सो and by using that statistical data, what is exact strength and accuracy of that cricketer. Also very useful, statistics is also useful in physics. Many physical concepts, many concepts are developed by using statistics. Means statistics is the important tool for research, because for every research statistics is required. All data will collected, and that data will be handled by using many statistical methods. And quality control, QC, quality control is controlled by also statistics. Many statistical tests are also available, statistical techniques, and also test. Means chai test, square test, and many tests are available for quality control. Also many distributions, Poisson distribution, normal distributions, and binomial distributions. That type of distributions also available for discussing the many problems of this research level concepts. And so that statistics is a very important tool in our hand, and we discuss in detail how the statistics actually useful in our day-to-day life. Okay.
No more spending your energy and money on coaching classes, or missing classes for rain, for rally, and any other nonsense. Subjects covered by multiple teachers with repeat telecasts. Doubts, concepts, applications, no problem. All explained through great and significant animation. So sit back comfortably in your home and watch Study Spectrum TV channel.
So for developing the statistic branch, many great Indian statisticians take more efforts, namely Sukhatme, Dr. Sukhatme, and also Professor Rao taken the more efforts to develop the statistics which is useful for the growth of country. So that we have discussed basic concepts required to discuss our syllabus. In a 9th standard you have studied already that concepts, but without that concepts we cannot go forward, and so that we discuss basic important concepts. So first we discuss data. So what is the meaning of data? Data is nothing but collection of information. Collection of information is called as data. Suppose we are going to the school, any school, and we have taken the marks of mathematics from 10th standard students of 50 students. So that information is the data. So data is classified into three types. into three types. First is a raw data. First is a raw data. Raw data means rough data. Raw data means rough data means we have collected the, suppose we have collected the marks of 10 students, marks of mathematics of 10 students. That data as it is, that data as it is called as raw data. Is called as raw data means unprocessed data. Unprocessed data is called as raw data. Is called as raw data. For example, suppose a test of 50 marks and 5 students are given the test. So suppose 40, 35, 47, 41, 20. These marks are nothing but raw data, means no any process have done on this data. This is called as raw data, means rough data. And this data has not frequency, means raw data means what? Raw data means data without, actually data without frequency. Data without frequency. This is simple data without frequency. This is a simple definition of the raw data. What is data without frequency? Data without frequency. Here is a given only mass, no frequency. Frequency means how many times repeated the numerical value. Suppose this fourth student get marks, suppose 40. So 40 marks has a 2 students. 40 marks has a 2 students. Means 2 is the frequency of marks 40. 2 is the frequency of marks 40. So data without frequency is called as raw data. Again, here is, this is already discussed. We have already discussed this part in 11th standard, in 9th standard actually, and so that we discuss in a simple manner. Also raw data, then what? Which type of data? Ungrouped data. Ungrouped data. This is a word here is ungrouped. Ungrouped means no grouping. Ungrouped means no grouping between the data. So ungrouped data means data is ungrouped but with frequency. But frequency is given. Frequency is given. Ungrouped data means data is not grouped with frequency. Data is not grouped, but data with frequency is called as ungrouped data. Suppose marks of 5 students. Suppose marks of suppose 10 students. Suppose 10 students. Out of 50 marks we take. So 40 marks. Here is the marks. Here is a frequency. So 40 marks, 2 students get the 40 marks. 30 marks, 4 students. 45 marks, 3 students, and 50 marks get 1 student. So this is nothing but this is a ungrouped data with a frequency. And third is what? Third is very important. Grouped data. Third is what? Grouped data. Grouped data. So grouped data means grouping. We convert the data in intervals. In the intervals means suppose we we take the 0 to 10 marks. Suppose we take the marks from 0 to 10, 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and lastly 41 to 50. Suppose 0 to 10, suppose 0 to 10, suppose no student. Here is a no student. 0 to 10, no student. 10 to 20 also, 11 to 20, here is a no student. 0. 21 to 30, 21 to 30, suppose 4 students. 31 to 40, 31 to 40, 2 students. And lastly 41 to 50, 41 to 50, 4 students. So these are data of the 10 students which giving the test of 50 marks. So we convert the marks into class intervals. We take the marks into small sub intervals. So 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, and we take the frequency. These are the frequency. How many students have get the marks between 0 to 10, 0, 11 to 20, 0 students, 21 to 30, how many students? 4 students, 31 to 40, 2 students, and lastly 41 to 50, 4 students. And in this manner these are grouped data. But here is we look carefully. These are the class intervals. Okay. So we discuss in detail. This is the first number is nothing but boundary. This is boundary 0 to 10. 0 and 10 is the boundary of that class interval. Boundary of that class interval means this is a lower limit. This is a upper limit. This is a upper limit. Okay. So in the simple language, what? Starting number of class interval is called as actually lower limit, and ending number or ending point of class interval is called as upper limit. Here is suppose this is a class interval 21 to 30. So this is a 21 to 30. This is the starting point. 21 is the starting point, and so that 21 is the lower limit. 21 is the lower limit. And here is a 30. Here is a 30. 30 is the ending point, and so that 30 is called as upper limit. It's called as upper limit. So these are the boundaries. 21 and 30 is the boundaries of this class interval. They called as lower limit and upper limit. Okay. Or left hand number. Also you can also make the different definition. Left hand side number is called as lower limit. Right hand side number is called as upper limit. It's called as upper limit. Also we discuss the width of this class interval. What is the meaning of width of class interval? Here we have discussed the boundaries. Class boundaries we have discussed. Also we discuss width of this class interval. Very important. Width of class interval. What is the formula for width of class interval? Is nothing but distance between these two numbers. Distance between two numbers. These two numbers are upper limit minus lower limit. Upper limit minus lower limit. Upper limit minus lower limit means this right hand side number minus left hand side numbers. This 30 minus 21 is nothing but the width of that class interval. Okay, after this part we discuss also midpoints of class interval. Midpoint or mid value. Also this point is read as or called as mid value or class mark or midpoint of class. Midpoint means middle value means actually average of this class number. This boundaries means up lower limit plus upper limit upon 2. Midpoint of class interval is nothing but lower limit plus upper limit upon 2. Suppose here is a 21, this is a 30. 21 plus 30 equal to what? 51, and 51 upon 2 means what? 25.5. So this is the midpoint of that class interval. Also we discuss a very important point is that here is a look carefully. This is a grouped data, okay, but this grouped data is also classified into two different types. Here is we again discuss the grouped classification of grouped data. Now we discuss in detail grouped data. So what is grouped data? We have already discussed what is grouped data. Grouped data means data is converted into class intervals with its frequency. Class intervals with frequency is called as grouped data. But this grouped data is classified into two different data, means continuous grouped data. Continuous grouped data. This is a continuous grouped data and discontinuous grouped data. So in previous here is written one problem. What is problem? Marks of students is given. And their frequency also given. What that frequency? 0 to 10, 0, 11 to 20, 0, 21 to 30, 21 to 31, 31 to 40, 31 to 40 suppose 4, and 41 to 50, 5. So this data is nothing but discontinuous. Why this discontinuous? Here is a look carefully. Here is a 0 to 10. We draw this data on the real line number system. So what is this is the real line. We draw the real line. So here is a 0 to 10. Suppose 0 to here is a 10. Then what? 11 to 20. 11 to 20 means again here is 11 to 20. Again what? 21 to 30. So suppose here is a 21 to 30. Again what? 31 to 40. And here is a 41 to, suppose here is 50. 41 to 50. So here is a gap. Gap between the 10 to 11. Gap between here is a 10 to 11. Gap between here is a 10 to 11, 30 to 31. There is a gap also between 40 to 41. And so that no two intervals, no two consecutive intervals are continuous. Some gap between these 2 points, these two consecutive points, and therefore these intervals are not continuous, and therefore this type of data is called as discontinuous grouped data. Means the grouped data in which class intervals are discontinuous is called as discontinuous grouped data. Similarly, suppose this is given data, but we want to convert this given data into the continuous grouped data. So suppose we take another different problem. Suppose marks, suppose frequency. Suppose we take 11 to 20, 2 students, 21 to 30, 3 students, 31 to 40, 4 students, and 41 to 50, 1 student. So this is also discontinuous grouped data, and we want to convert this data into the continuous grouped data. Continuous grouped data means all intervals are continuous. So we want to convert this all these intervals continuous. All these intervals we want to convert this discontinuous intervals into continuous intervals, and we use the formula correction factor. What? Correction factor equal to what? Upper limit of what is upper limit of second class interval. Second, here is a no upper limit, this is actually lower limit. This is a lower limit of second class minus upper limit of first class minus upper limit of first class upon 2. Here is this is second class, so lower limit of second class is 21. So lower limit of second class interval minus upper limit of first class interval upon 2. So add this correction factor to upper limits, and subtract this correction factor from all these lower limits, and add all these and add this correction factor to all these upper limit. Listen again carefully. Subtract correction factor from lower limits and add correction factor to all upper limits, then automatically the discontinuous grouped data is converted into continuous grouped data. So here is, we draw the line and we discuss this. These are suppose what is correction factor, what we get, equal to lower limit of second class interval. Means what is lower limit? This is the 21 is the lower limit. 21 is the lower limit of this second class interval. Means 21 minus what? Upper limit of first class interval. Means this is a first class interval, and upper limit means 20. 20 is the upper limit of first class. Means here is a 20. 21 minus 20 upon 2 equal to what? 21 minus 20, 1 upon 2 equal to 0.5. So correction factor is 0.5. So add this 0.5 to all these upper limits and subtract 0.5 from all these lower limits. Listen again carefully. Subtract correction factor 0.5 from all lower limits and add correction factor 0.5 to all upper limits. So what happened? What is the data? We here write. Subtract 11 minus 0.5. What we get? 11 minus 0.5, 10.5 minus 20. Add. Here is the subtract. Here is the add. So 20 plus 0.5, 20.5. Similarly, here is a. So these all are subtract 0.5 from this. All numbers 0.5. So what? 20.5. Now here subtract correction factor 0.5 from all these lower limits. Means 11 minus 0.5 what? 10.5. 21 minus 0.5 what? 20.5. 31 minus 0.5 what? 30.5. And lastly 41 minus 0.5 what? 40.5. Similarly, add the correction factor 0.5 to all upper limits. What happened? 20 plus 0.5 what? 20.5. 30 plus 0.5 what? 30.5. 40 plus 40.5 what? 40 plus 0.5. 40.5. And last 50 plus 0.5 equal to what? 50.5. Means all these class intervals are automatically done as a continuous. We can draw this on the line. Suppose 10.5 to 20.5. So here is a 10.5 to 20.5. Again 20.5 to 30.5. Means here is a 20.5 to 30.5. Again 30.5 to what? 30.5 to 40.5. Here is already 30.5. So 30.5 to 40.5 and 40.5 to 50.5. This fourth class interval. Here is already 40.5 and 40.5 to 50.5. So all these four class intervals are continuous. No gap between these class intervals. No gap between any two class intervals. And so that all these class intervals are continuous, and this with this continuous class intervals and frequency, total data is called as continuous grouped data. And so that remember this formula, correction factor equal to what formula? Correction factor equal to lower limit of second class interval minus upper limit of first class interval upon 2. By using this formula, we subtract the correction factor from lower limits and add the correction factor to the upper limits. We make all discontinuous class intervals into continuous class intervals.